Have you ever been driving along and you just get this feeling that something's, well, not quite right? Maybe it's a weird hum coming from one of the wheels or a new vibration you can't really pin down. You know, your car is always talking to you, and those little signals, they're often the very first warning that something needs your attention. Seriously, think about it. That faint grinding sound that seems to get a little louder when you take a turn, or maybe that weird vibration that you only feel through the steering wheel when you're on the highway. These aren't just little personality quirks your car is picking up. No, they're often direct messages that a really important part is starting to wear out. And you might be surprised to hear that our investigation into what's wrong often starts right here with the tires. See, these wear patterns, they're not random at all. They're basically a story written in rubber. And each pattern is a clue that can tell you a ton about what's going on with your car's alignment, its suspension, and a whole lot more. Okay, so let's put on our detective hats for a second and learn how to decode these really important wear patterns on our own cars. This chart here just breaks it down perfectly. If you see where smack dab in the center of the tire, well, they're probably overinflated. If it's on both edges, they're underinflated. Simple enough, right? Now that feathering pattern, where the tread blocks get worn into a kind of sawtooth shape, that's a classic sign your alignment is off. But pay really close attention to this last one, cupping or scalloping. It's this pattern of these weird, uneven dips that happens when a worn-out shock or a bad bearing is letting the tire literally bounce up and down on the road as it spins. It's a huge, flashing red flag that there's a much deeper problem.
Right. Because a lot of the time, the tire itself isn't the actual problem. In a case like this, it's really just the messenger, and it's pointing us toward a way more critical issue that's hiding just behind the wheel.
So, let's go behind the scenes, pull back the curtain on these critical inner workings, and expose the real culprit behind all those noises, vibrations, and that weird tire wear. And here it is. This is the unsung hero of every smooth ride you've ever had in your car, the wheel bearing assembly. Now, it might just look like a bunch of little metal parts, but this whole assembly is engineered to handle the entire weight of your vehicle while letting the wheel spin thousands of times a minute with pretty much zero friction. It's an incredible piece of engineering. So what that really means is this bearing is the one thing that lets your wheels spin freely while it's supporting thousands of pounds of force. It's the absolute critical link between the parts of your car that stay still and the parts that are in constant high-speed motion. Which brings us to probably the most important question for any driver or mechanic. What does it actually look and feel like when this super critical part starts to go bad? And this slide just shows it perfectly. On the left, that's a nice, clean, new bearing all ready to go. But on the right, whoa, that is a completely different story. You can clearly see all that pitting and scarring on the metal surfaces. And that dark, burnt-looking discoloration, that is unmistakable textbook evidence of damage from dirt getting in, not enough lubrication, and some serious overheating. And let's be crystal clear here. This is not just cosmetic damage. If you ignore this, it can lead to a total catastrophic failure. We're talking a complete mechanical seizure. And what that means is the wheel can lock up solid while you are driving down the road. I mean, it's an unbelievably dangerous situation. So, to prevent that nightmare scenario, it's so important to understand the technical fix. Let's walk through the right way to service these bearings to make sure everything is completely safe. The proper procedure has 5 key steps. First, you have to meticulously clean the old bearing and the hub. Second, you pack fresh, high-temp grease through the rollers. You can't just wipe it on the outside. Third, the bearing gets carefully reinstalled. Fourth, and listen, this one is non-negotiable, you replace the grease seal with a brand new one. And finally, you adjust the bearing preload. You can think of this like finding the Goldilocks zone of tightness. It can't be so loose that it wobbles, but it can't be so tight that it creates a bunch of friction and heat. It's got to be just right. Let's just focus on this small but mighty part for a second, the grease seal. You absolutely positively must always replace it during service. Think of it as the gatekeeper. Its entire job is to keep that fresh, life-saving grease in and to keep all the dirt, water, and road gunk out. If you reuse an old seal, you're pretty much guaranteeing that bearing is going to fail way too soon. So when you do this service the right way, you're not just swapping out a little part. You're actively preventing overheating, you're getting rid of that risk of the wheels seizing up, and you're even helping your fuel economy. It's a small job with a massive impact on both safety and efficiency. But here's the thing, a failing wheel bearing hardly ever acts alone. That little wobble from a loose bearing actually forces the brake rotor to push the brake pads back into the caliper. And that puts a ton of stress on the entire brake system, which is exactly where we're going to look next. This table shows us the other weak spots in the system. You've got the parts that are designed to wear out, like your brake pads and rotors. Then you have the parts that can just seize up from rust and heat, like the calipers. And then you have the parts that can spring a leak, like old brake hoses. Every single one is a potential point of failure. And here's a perfect visual. On the left, you've got brake pads that are worn right down to the metal. I mean, you have basically no stopping power left at that point. And on the right, you see a cracked brake hose. If that thing fails, you could push the brake pedal all the way to the floor and have absolutely nothing happen. And these are not minor problems. Ignoring these warning signs can lead to way less stopping power, your car pulling dangerously to one side when you brake, or in the absolute worst-case scenario, a complete and total loss of your brakes right when you need them the most. So let's zoom out for a second and see how all these different parts are actually connected in one big, interdependent system that's designed to keep you safe. Think of your car's ride and control system kind of like a team. You've got the tires. Their job is to touch the road. You've got the wheel bearings. They let everything rotate. The suspension works to keep those tires planted firmly on the ground. The brakes, they control your speed. And the steering, well, that controls your direction. Every single one has a critical job to do. And this is the most important thing to remember. These systems don't work by themselves. When one part fails, whether it's a loose bearing, a worn-out shock, an underinflated tire, it doesn't just fail on its own. It puts a huge amount of stress on everything else around it, and it creates this domino effect of wear and tear that directly puts your safety at risk. You know, the source material for this explainer really nails it when it says this: tires, bearings, and brakes fail gradually, and skilled technicians catch the signs early. The whole point of all this is to catch those little signals before they ever get a chance to become big, dangerous problems. So that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. After everything we've talked about today, from weird tire wear and bearing grease to cracking brake hoses, what subtle warnings might your vehicle be trying to give you right now?